Hello, this is Chelsea Downing giving you a briefing of a chapter in the book Handbook of Research on K-12 Online and Blended Learning. The chapter that I read was about parent involvement, and it discussed the links between student success online and parent involvement. This is important because it shows how parents might serve to close the gap when the teacher and student are separated by distance. The research conducted shows that there is a link between parent involvement and how it may contribute to student success. The research in this chapter examined how parental involvement can be viewed along a continuum of support, where some parents are more involved than others. Children do better when parents are involved in traditional schools. So if parent involvement has a positive impact on students, then parents need to be provided with clear policies detailing expectations for parental support. We need to do more to inform and support parents in their efforts if we will help students succeed online. Now, the definition of a parent, according to Burrup, West, Graham, and Davies, has been defined as an adult, not an employee of an online program, who has a long-lasting relationship with the student and a legal or ethical responsibility to care for the student. The definition of parent involvement can be defined as the parent's activities to support students' learning. Now, as mentioned earlier, involvement can be on a continuum, from little to full parent involvement. Parents were not always well informed of the level of involvement that they were expected to undertake. There's also a lack of understanding of parent expectations. Without clear policies, parents fail to understand the level of commitment required. Now, how can parents be involved? One, nurturing caring relationships and ensuring that the basic needs of the student are met. Two, monitoring students' engagement activities and performance. Three, motivating students to fully engage in learning activities. Four, organizing students' learning environment and schedule. Five, volunteering to assist with extracurricular activities. Six, instructing students in the course content and learning skills. Now, parent involvement can be based on student needs. Parents tend to increase their level of involvement when a student is struggling or failing. When students show motivation, parents decrease their involvement. Most parents' time was spent helping their children learn the content, behavior skills, and organizing their work. Parents with special education kids take on more of a significant role as they're more actively engaged in their child's education and helping their child develop the types of executive functioning skills that help facilitate their child's learning. These parents of special education kids are assuming heavier roles and responsibilities that might be equivalent to the load a teacher would assume. Parents also assume the responsibility of medical aid. Parent roles and supportive behaviors are amplified in a full-time cyber or online charter school setting because parents will fill in when the teacher is absent or at a distance from the student. Those who were previously homeschooled, their parents needed to be willing to take a step back. On the other hand, students who previously attended traditional brick and mortar schools needed to be willing to take a step forward. Now, studies found that parents' responsibilities were more extensive than they previously believed. Parents were not always prepared or willing to assume the level of responsibilities and support that students required. Parents underestimated the nature of their role and the type of commitment required. Now, thinking about the greater responsibilities parents might face on online schools, why would parents enroll their child in an online program? There are a variety of reasons why parents would make this choice. They may have had a negative situation at the traditional school that pushed them away. A traditional school might have failed to keep their child safe. Other reasons could be health related. They might want to avoid distractions in a negative social environment. It has a more flexible schedule and individualized learning. And others want their child to learn at home but need the support of a teacher. Demographics were considered in this study, and Student demographics in the online programs were less diverse. Online charter schools have an overrepresentation of white students and an underrepresentation of Hispanic students. And this might be in the result of lower knowledge of options among the students and parents who might be immigrants and not speak English as a first language. Percentages of students with disabilities was similar across online schools and face-to-face schools. Most parents had at least some college education and were of middle-income families. However, most online schools do not have specific demographic profiles for parents. Parent demographics might influence the level of involvement, but further research on parent demographics is needed. So, what is the link between parent involvement and student achievement? Parent involvement helps students persevere through the challenges of learning in an online environment. It also helps boost their ability to acquire and practice the skills necessary to be successful. Students highly value their parents' involvement and find it motivational. Where there's a lack of teacher presence, parents play an even more important role. Parents who reported that their children were unsuccessful in this environment perceived that it was due to the fact that their students were not self-motivated and did not organize their workload well. We can think of parent involvement as absentee, supportive, and participatory. While student success rates appeared to improve when they ranked their parents' involvement as either supportive or participatory, student success was not guaranteed in any category. A combination of student and parent commitment was ultimately the best antidote for student success. Parents of successful online students reported they did not need to spend as much time monitoring their students once they had established good working routines. There is a positive relationship between parental praise of their children's schoolwork and student performance. My recommendations would be to implement policies that provide effective training and support for parents as educational facilitators, and help articulate and communicate guidelines concerning parental roles and responsibilities, and the depth of the commitment that is required to help their child succeed. We need policies that improve the school parent communications in order to guide the parents along the continuum of parental involvement. Policies should focus on issues that would enrich student academic achievement, increase high school graduation rates, and prepare students for college and their careers. Students viewed interactions with their parents more motivational than their parents had indicated. So we need to help parents fully understand the impact their involvement has on their child's learning. Parents need to comprehend the significance of their involvement. So overall, inform and support parents in developing skills and knowledge to effectively support their students in online settings. In conclusion, there is a relationship between parent involvement and student success. However, parental involvement should not be the only measure of student achievement. There are three important facets that lead to student success in an online environment. The school is part one, which should be effectively communicating, be transparent, and individualized. The student is part two, which needs to be self-motivated, engaged, and accountable. And finally, part three, which is the parent that should monitor, mentor, and motivate. More research needs to be done to examine the links between parental involvement and student academic achievement. We also need more exploration on the continuum of parental involvement and conduct research to gain a deeper understanding of complexities. Thank you for listening, and this information was taken from Chapter 30, titled Parental Involvement in K-12 Online and Blended Learning by Lisa Hulser-Waters, Jared Burrup, and Michael P. Menchaca from the book Handbook of Research on K-12 Online and Blended Learning, second edition, edited by Catherine Kennedy and Richard E. Furdig. Thank you for listening to me, Chelsea Downing, and my interpretation of the material in this chapter.